All right, I guess it's time to do another one of these videos. And by the way, if you like this, well, I'm not going to beg. Just read the description. Anyway, looking at the TradingView chart, this is MEXC trading. And I pointed this out before. We'll point it out again. We have had so far 2 confirmed inverted head and shoulders patterns in this chart. And both of them resulted in not only meeting their goal, which is measured by the depth of the pattern, but they far exceeded the minimum expected target. So this one, you see there's the left shoulder dip, the head dip, the right shoulder dip, breakout, little consolidation right at about the halfway point. You know what the old traders used to say, the flag flies at half mast. Well, there you have it. Then we came up, then fell back down in a really pretty well controlled narrow channel, broke out of that, kind of meandered sideways for a bit, rallied off sort of what I guess you could describe as maybe just sort of at the time an unknown level of support. Hit another inverted head and shoulders pattern, exceeded that target by more than double. By the way, each time we started one of these inverted head and shoulders patterns, I'll show you real quick. Each time we had one of these, it actually started with a rally that was higher than the neckline. Okay, so there we got up to about 0028, but the neckline is underneath that just a little bit. If we look at this one over here, you could see we got up over that neckline just a little bit. And now the one that we're looking at currently, potentially an inverted head and shoulders pattern, you see we reached a level higher than the neckline. Then we started to form the first dip. This would be the inverted left shoulder, potentially the inverted head. I say potentially because it's nothing until we break out. And then the inverted right shoulder. The general shape of this, I'm ignoring these long MEXC scam wicks because really if you look at it, you can see the bulk of the trading here follows that inverted head and shoulders pattern very nicely. And technically, it's even if we did include these long descending wicks, it still would be an inverted head and shoulders pattern. It's just that these shapes define really where the meat of the pattern is. Now here's where it gets kind of interesting. And bear with me here. I'm going to see if a 30-minute chart reveals this. It does. So we're looking, again, we're looking at a lot of detail now in this potential pattern. And one thing I want to show you is that the head of this pattern itself is an inverted head and shoulders pattern. There's the neckline. There's the left shoulder, the sort of a double head, then the right shoulder. Another interpretation of this, and the one I think I actually had to begin with, and it's certainly perfectly valid, is that this also could be looked at as a triangle. However, what's interesting about the triangle idea is it did not meet its target. Instead, we came up to this purple line and then we started to dip back at times rather violently and at times rather, what's a good way to put it, unpleasantly. I was a complainer. I'll be honest with you. I was complaining through all this. Here's where it gets even more interesting. If we look at the very bottom of the inverted head. Come to daddy. All right, where am I here? Yeah, there it is. If we look at the very bottom of the inverted head, we also have kind of a neckline there with a triangle pattern that broke out. If we also look And this is why I was saying yesterday that if we could get over 2,700 with some gusto, that we might be able to run for a bit, is because if we look again, a little bottoming pattern here, but then looking up top here, here's a dip, a bigger dip, a smaller dip, and this smaller dip was a descending wedge, momentarily fell out of the wedge to the downside, but recovered, then started to act like a wedge. So this in itself is an inverted head and shoulders pattern. And if we measure the depth of this pattern, and I'm going to ignore this long scam wick back here. That sounds like somebody's last name, doesn't it? I want you to meet my attorney, Everett Scamwick. Anyway, there is how we measure it, and we broke out. Guess what? That measures up to 32, up to over 32. And what's interesting is if we get up to over 32, that puts us over that neckline, meaning the large inverted head and shoulders pattern will have broken out by the time we reach 3.2 cents. Now, what does this pattern portend? What does it mean going forward? Well, again, we measure the depth of it right there. And I don't know if we're going to break out, but if we do break out, and let's say we break out, in a couple days, then we have a target up right at about a nickel. But that's the minimum target. And we have seen that the previous two inverted head and shoulders patterns exceeded that minimum target. So I'm thinking again, if we had a breakout, I'm thinking looking for a nickel, then maybe a little fight there, and possibly a little bit of a fight around 4.2 cents from a little bit of maybe horizontal resistance. But my idea is that we could very well come up to this upper line of resistance at some point around 6.5, 7.5, maybe 8 cents. Now, this is still a young project. This is still a young chart. And I remember I bought my very first crypto in 2017. I bought some Ethereum, and I think I paid $18 for it. And when it started to rally, I'd been reading stock charts for a very long time, but when it started to rally, honestly, the chart made no sense to me because it just kept on going. I would think, it's got to find a top here. Nope, plow right through it. So it really was an almost parabolic move. Now, I'm not saying that's what we're going to do here, but I'm not positive that this line of resistance up here would hold it if the planets were to align just right. But I think it's probably fair and safe to keep this line on the chart just so we see how it plays out. And one of the reasons why I'm saying that this might not hold it is the fact that this is a significantly larger inverted head and shoulders pattern than what we've seen so far. And it's happening at a place in the chart to where, like I said, the bottom of it here is not on our support line. The bottom of it is up almost in the middle of the channel. So it's really interesting. But like I said, so far, it looks to be like everything we're seeing is consistent with an inverted head and shoulders pattern. Finally, 5-minute chart. Let's go in and look, see how things are happening with our wedge here. Like I said, we've got two wedges. We had this one, and again, it broke down to the downside. But that happened before, didn't it? It got down just a little bit below the apex level. And that apex level in a wedge, by the way, is often an area, in a descending wedge, is often an area of support. We saw that long candle that happened, what, an hour and a half ago or so. And we see that it came down where? Right down to that apex level. So either that was the chart doing its thing, or possibly even that was someone at MEXC looking at the chart and saying, you know, I think I'm just going to take out as many futures players as I can, but I don't want to break the chart. Let's take them right down to that apex, and then we'll let nature take its course. So anyway, there is the neckline up there at 3.167 cents. Get over that, things get very interesting. So thanks for watching this video. Hope this helps a bit. And keep in mind, this is just some ideas I have. It's certainly not meant to be used as investment advice. Thanks. Bye.